These might be my new favorites for my god, were they not amazing?
Namaste, we're DAHRME. Doctor has requested more earbud reviews, thrice a week.
Just to be clear, there are two AirPods 4 models, one with ANC and one without. We obviously got the one with ANC, but compared to the Pro models, these don't actually seal your ear holes since there are no silicone tips. So it's quite an engineering challenge to be able to cancel out noise. Does it have ANC or does it have ANC? Before we get to that, let's check out the design and build quality. Okay, these are not exactly a groundbreaking design, and many people won't be able to notice that they're the new AirPods. But luckily you can choose from an array of different color options, as long as it's white. The case is kinda cute and compact compared to the Pro and the predecessor, the AirPods 3. And there is a little speaker in the charging case for chimes indicating low battery life, or when it's charging, or when you try to find it using the Find My app. You can turn the chime off if you don't like it in the settings, but we'll get to that in a bit. But as opposed to the Pro model, there is no hook for a lanyard on the charging case. There's also no pairing button anymore. That's become a capacitive button on the area where the LED light is. So if you want to put the buds into pairing mode, you have to tap below the LED light twice, and it worked quite well in our experience. And that LED light is also your battery indicator. Then we've got the buds. They're not full in-ear like the AirPods Pros, like we said, but semi-in-ear, like the normal AirPods before it. So the buds are small and they're stem-style buds, similar to the AirPods 3. Now the buds are IP54 rated, which is an upgrade from the IPX4 on the AirPods 3. So now you've got official dust protection.
Now comparing the build from the AirPods 4 to the AirPods 3, there has been a considerable shrinkage in the case, and we are pretty impressed considering the amount of tech it has been able to pack. But something you may or may not have noticed is that one of the sensors has secretly been removed. Yes, the skin sensor, which kind of enables your play or pause when you take it off, has been removed from the AirPods 4. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. That feature, it does work, but this time it's an optical sensor, which means there's light. What does this mean to you in real life? Well, the one place it could affect you is if you take one earpod out of your ear, hoping that music stays paused, but leave it on a table. If something covers that sensor up, it's gonna start playing music thinking it's in a ear, which the older AirPods didn't do and the AirPods Pros also don't do. So one step back, but it's not a big deal for most of us.
And how do you control these buds? Stem squeezing. You got track control and there are phone call controls as well, but we'll get to those in a little bit as well. You can also call up Siri with your voice, but what they omitted on the AirPods 4 is stroking the stems for volume. So you cannot change the volume using the stems. You can, of course, ask Siri to do that for you, or change volume straight from the device. So let's talk about battery life. Apple advertises 4 hours with ANC on and up to 20 hours in total with the charging case. There is Type-C charging, yeah baby, long live the EU. And there's also wireless charging on board. And interestingly, you can even use your Apple Watch charging puck to charge it. So pretty cool if you're already stuck in the ecosystem and you want to repurpose your Apple Watch charger for something else, like these AirPods. Some of the extra features you get on these buds. You do get a wear sensor, so it will pause the audio automatically when you remove one and resume when you put it back in. Like we said, there is the Find My app support, so if you lose these buds, you can find them using the app. There's also seamless device switching, but unfortunately that's only if you're in the Apple ecosystem. So suppose you're on your iPhone and you want to move over to your MacBook and you're watching a video there, you can do that too. Another feature you get is personalized volume, which basically will adjust the amount of volume of your earbuds depending on how loud your environment is. You can also choose to turn this off in the settings if you like. And another feature that's there is conversation awareness, which is new to this model, but it's something that was already there on the Pro and on other buds, which we like to call speak to chat, which is Sony's implementation. So suppose you're listening to something, but you start talking to someone or you start to sing along, then the AirPods will lower the volume of your audio and kick into transparency mode. And when it notices you're done, it'll resume again. And the headlining feature though is head gestures. So you can nod to answer a call and interact with notifications, or shake your head if you don't. You can flip those gestures around, but why would you do that? Is there a culture in which shaking your head means yes? So we test the noise canceling of a lot of buds and we always put them on this scale. And we've slotted the AirPods 4 in at tier B. But for earbuds that don't seal off your ears, these are freaking incredible. The low end is very well suppressed, but compared to the Tier A Earfun Air 2 NC that we reviewed very recently, it lets in a bit more. And a similar difference in terms of voices and high-end sounds. But if we just ignore the testing and the tiers, I took a walk along a road with cars and it managed to cut so much of the noise out. I was amazed. And then for transparency, Tier S. I mean, did we expect anything less here? AirPods have been on the transparency throne for a while, and the fact that these are semi-in-ear buds, this was an easy win again. So there is also an adaptive ANC setting, if you would like, which will basically lower or increase the amount of ambient noise depending on your environment. And you can adjust that in case you prefer hearing more or less of your environment. Or you can turn the feature off entirely too. The long press on either bud can be set to toggling between ANC and transparency. You can also adjust which modes you want to cycle between. So you can have it cycle between off, ANC, adaptive, and transparency, or a selection of those. By default, the ANC won't work if you have one earbud in, but if you really want that, you can enable that from the accessibility section in the settings. All right, time to take a look at my popsicles, icicles, and tests. All right, and now a wind test on the AirPods 4. With wind, here's the wind meter showing the meters per second. Here we go. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. What do you guys think? All right, this is a mic test with the AirPods 4 with cars in the background. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. So in terms of Fuckman controls, you can answer hang up, and you can also mute the microphone if you press it once. Unfortunately, there's no volume control, guys. So there's none for audio and there's none for calls either, because these aren't the Pro model. So there's no swipey. You have to grab your device for volume control. You can, however, change the noise at the noise canceling mode that it's in by long pressing the stem. So that works while you're on a call. These might be my new favorites for phone calls. My God, were they not amazing?
Speaking of sound quality, you get personalized spatial audio. As usual, using an iPhone, the personalization is set up in a couple of seconds. Super convenient. The spatial audio on these sounds very good actually. I was surprised. On the 3s, I thought they were absolutely trash, but these didn't mess with the sound much when spatial audio was turned on, which meant I could actually use them for music. Surprising. But it's still best if you use this kind of stuff for movies and the like, because you never know how it's going to affect music. It can be a bit unpredictable. Definitely overall, the sound of these is a very rich and luscious sound for this form factor at least. These are a smidge louder than the AirPods 3, which we called physics defying. The obvious thing here is the lack of the lowest of low bass, also called the sub bass, you know, because it's sub bass. Anyway, you're getting a teeny bit higher bass than the AirPods 3, but these are still open ear style buds. You're not going to get the same bass as buds with a tip. And you lose a lot more when you're out and about, so be aware of that. The highs sound a bit more lush and polished. The 3s sounded a little bit harsher to me. And as is the modern way, there's a recessed mids. So vocals and lead instruments tend to be a bit lower in the mix. But I'm surprised that these sound so good with this form factor. I definitely prefer it over the 3s. Overall, a surprisingly capable set of earbuds for sound.
All right, so overall, are the AirPods 4 a good product? I didn't expect to like it, guys, because you probably know how badly semi-in-ears fit me. These are still not great, but they are the best out of all the AirPods so far. And for semi-in-ears, you're getting pretty damn good ANC and of course, transparency. You're getting all the Apple goodness with seamless switching, head gestures, and conversation awareness. And of course, Type-C and wireless charging and an IP54 rating. Of course, there will be a few things that are reserved for the Pro models like volume stroking and better ANC. But for someone who's in the Apple ecosystem and hates the feeling of silicone tips being shoved into their ear holes, These are awesome. At $180, these are a go from me for sure. But if you're okay with silicone tips and you're not so deep in the ecosystem, then you can get some incredible stuff between $50 to $100 even. You might want to check out some of our other videos for those.
We bought these AirPods with our own money, but you guys support us and we are so thankful to you guys for watching, liking, subscribing, but especially to our lovely members and patrons who actually contribute financially to our channel. Thank you so much. And a big shout out to our biggest, highest tier members, the Fuckman tier, Paula and Gamma Panda. Your open ear holes have been noise free and we've been DHRME. Dui.